Hello and welcome to the Complete PHP Laravel REST API Development Course 2026. In this course, you will learn how to build modern, secure, and real-world REST APIs using PHP, Laravel, MySQL, and Syncatium. From the fundamentals all the way to advanced backend features used in real applications. Alright, so hello and welcome from me again. I'm your host, Mohammed Hassan. I'm a developer, a freelancer, and an instructor. I've taught more than 30,000 people programming in the past year only. I've also more than 1,500,000 people who enrolled in my courses. I also have more than 120,000 people who consumed over 100,000 hours of my content in the past couple of years. Alright, so let's get to the next slide, which is who should take this course. This course is basically for PHP developers who want to learn REST APIs, developers or Laravel developers who are just beginners and who want to move into back-end APIs, and developers who want to build mobile or front-end ready APIs, or even students who want to have real back-end experience, and anyone who wants to understand how APIs work in practice. Alright, so what you should know before taking this course, that these are simply the prerequisites that you should take a look at if you're actually serious and if you want to take this course. So you should have a basic understanding, of course, of PHP fundamentals, stuff like variables, functions, arrays, loops, stuff like that. You also have basic OOP concepts like classes, objects, methods, constructors, properties, and all of that stuff, and just basic Laravel usage of actually routes, controllers, models, migrations. Actually, in the course, in the first section of the course, right after the installation, I'm going to take you on simply on a tour of a quick revision of just basic concepts that you should know before actually taking this course. Actually, Laravel concepts, all right, that you should know before taking this before taking this course, right? And you simply do not need to know any prior. You do not need to know or you do not need to have any API experience before taking this course, right? Everything basically will be explained step by step. Right, let's now get to what you're actually going to learn in this course. By the end of this course, you'll actually be able to build REST APIs using Laravel, design clean API endpoints, handle CRUD operations properly, and work with API authentication using Syncatium, and also secure your API routes and protect them, and of course upload files through APIs securely, and build scalable API structures, and even document your API in multiple ways, and prepare APIs for front-end and mobile apps. And of course, document your application. You're gonna also learn various security parts concerning APIs. And before all of that, you're gonna learn how to simply set the right environment for actually building APIs with Laravel. Alright, so here's simply the course structure overview. So this course is divided into clear sections. We're gonna again start from the environment, how to install XAMPP, VS Code. If you already have those, then you're gonna actually need to install something extra, which is our API client, which is simply Postman. That will allow us to test APIs. Alright, so I'm gonna show you how to simply install it. I'm gonna show you also a quick, clear overview of the most important parts of the software, so you can actually learn how to test APIs. Now let's actually, of course, each section will focus on one core concept and builds on the previous one, right? And let's now take a quick look at what we'll cover. Section intro slides. So each of the following slides will introduce one section, all right? So here's simply the first section of this course. So in the first section, we're going to simply learn about the API fundamentals. And of course, this section is going to be after after the installation. So in this section, we're gonna learn about some fundamental and basic rules about EBIs, REST EBIs, the differences between them, why JSON is important, and a lot of other things. So we're gonna learn what EBIs are, what REST EBIs mean, and how EBIs simply work, and why do we even need them. And we're gonna also learn about HTTP methods, the most important ones. I also going to learn about requests and responses in Laravel APIs, and how we simply format our JSON, all right, or how we simply like insert data using JSON, and the responses that are returned. Why simply are they JSON and all of that. And we're going to also take a quick comparison to the differences between the API versus web applications, right? So the first section will simply build your foundation, some theoretical knowledge that will actually be very beneficial, and you will know how important it is as you go through the course. Right. So this is simply the first section. We're going to learn about APIs in general, REST APIs, HTTP methods, requests and responses, JSON, and also some Laravel concepts, right? Some main concepts like API response, API resources, API controllers, and a lot of other things, right? So this is simply the next section, which is the Laravel basics. And in this section, we will learn simply the Laravel directory structure, the routing basics, the controllers and models, migrations and seeders, and simply the request lifecycle inside Laravel. So you will understand how simply Laravel handles API requests. And also, as you can see, there are some basics that you may know even before taking this course, but it will be actually very beneficial to review them again. So you can have a solid foundation, a more solid foundation of what's going on. So simply do not skip this section. All right. So basically, the next section is going to be about simply creating our API.php file, and what's the difference between that file and the web.php file, the types of routes files in general, also API routing, API controllers. Also going to take a look at JSON responses and the API resource routes, and we're going to take a look at also testing APIs using Postman, right? So this is simply where real API development begins. Right, in the next section, we're going to take a look at the foundation of actually this course, which is the CRUD operation. I'm going to show you how you simply create, read, update, and delete data, how to simply do the validation, and how to respond, and how to format the responses, and how to handle the errors that simply happen in your application. So you will actually build a real API project in this part. All right, so we're gonna actually get to real stuff. So that's basically the heart of our course. All right, the next section, we're gonna learn a little bit more advanced stuff. I think that these are the intermediate parts of this course. It's simply about the API resources. Why do we use them, and why API resources are simply everywhere? Why do we need them to simply format the data and to actually establish some consistency inside our API? Because APIs are just about consistency and organization, right? And also, I'm going to show you how to format JSON responses. You're going to learn about the single versus collection resources. Also, we're going to take a look at simply how you can return data with relationships, whether it's one-to-many or many-to-many. And also, you're going to learn how to simply return your data how to return clean and proper data once working with APIs, of course using API resources mainly. All right, so you're gonna actually learn how the professional APIs are built, that you're actually the things that you are going to do in a day-to-day when you simply work in a company. All right, right after this, I'm gonna of course show you how to create the authentication. all right, which is of course a core part in this course. So I'm gonna show you how and how we create API authentication, what packages can we use, what are the differences between both of them, and simply the difference between the token-based authentication and the session-based authentication, and also the differences between them, and when to use which, and so on. All right, I'm gonna show you how to install Syncatium, how to create a register, a login and logout functions to actually log in, to register, log in and log out users, how you can simply pass the token with the requests through the headers, and of course how to protect your routes that are simply how to protect your routes with the authentication, with the middleware of authentications Syncatium. All right, so yeah, so basically at this part you're going to learn how to secure your routes. All right, not just create just the CRUD operations. You're going to learn how to simply allow some users to access routes, and others not simply access the same routes. All right, so you're gonna learn everything about authorization. Authentication. Actually, we're gonna get also to some parts of authorization, because you need to learn how to simply, for example, we're building a blog system, all right, which what we're doing in this course. So some users are going to create some posts, so you simply need to learn how to allow users to only update and delete their own posts, right? So we're gonna take a look at something like this inside the course, of course. All right, so right after this, we're gonna take a look at simply the relationships in our APIs. I'm gonna show you how to simply how to work a user and a post relationship. And I think you should be a little bit familiar with relationships, a lot of the relationships in models in Laravel before you even get to this course. But actually, I will explain them in a bigger way, or I will explain them well inside the course. But I think you should even have like the basics of how relationships work in Laravel. All right, I'm also going to show you how to return data for authenticated users, how to build relationship endpoints between tags and posts, for example, between users and posts, and how to handle related data in APIs in general. All right, so this section focuses on simply real-world logic, because this is what you're going to do in your day-to-day job. All right. All right, the section right after this, I'm going to show you also how to upload files in APIs, how to upload images, and simply how to upload images right along with your posts. How to store them in the storage using the storage facade, the differences between the public and the private desks. All right, how you can simply delete and update these files. All right, and how to simply return the file URLs. I'm going to show you how the data is formatted and returned once we simply return and upload a file. All right, so you will handle media securely like real applications. All right, right after this, we're going to take a look at advanced API features. And in this one, you're going to simply also format the data, or actually return specific parts of the data as you would return it in real applications. So you're going to be introduced to pagination, filtering, searching, sorting, and even query parameters in general. Right? You're going to build flexible API endpoints. All right, so this section will make your API scalable, right? Right after this section, we're going to learn about API versioning, why APIs need actually versioning here, and when to simply version your API, and the differences between the version 1 and the version 2. Actually, you can even create like more versions, and you can, as you simply get, as your project gets bigger and bigger. Right, and how companies actually manage API changes. All right, So I'm going to show you something like this is actually key when building a real and scalable applications. All right, that simply do not break changes. Right after this, we're going to get to something else, which is actually the rate limiting and security. And in this one, you're going to be introduced to something that's very, very important, and you should know it if you're actually serious about building APIs, which is the rate limiting. And rate limiting is basically allowing users to just have a number of requests per a certain amount of time. So you can simply protect your application from DDoS attacks, brute force attacks, and other people that are trying to hack and get down your application. All right, so knowing something like this is very important. All right, so learning about rate limiting will simply prevent abuse, and it can simply secure authentication endpoints. All right, and it will help you identify users that are actually loyal, and hackers that are actually very dangerous to your application. All right, so something like this will protect your application or your API from excessive requests. Right after this, you're going to learn about API documentation, why it's basically important to document your API, and how to communicate your endpoints, your API, your responses, your requests, your application in general to front-end developer, whether it's mobile or web. All right, I'm going to show you how to document your APIs in multiple ways, and how to simply document it manually, and how to document it using Postman, and also how to publish your API documentation and send a link to other developers, front-end developers mainly, so they can take a look at your API and they can deal with it. All right. I'm gonna also show you. Yes, of course, I already said this. I'm gonna show you how to share your APIs with the front-end and mobile teams. All right. So something like this, again, it's very important. If you're working in a real company, you're gonna get exposed to this every day. All right, so you should actually know that. All right, so the final message in here: by the end of this course, you'll understand APIs deeply, whether it's theoretically, this is the part that we're going to be starting with, or actually practically building APIs, setting up Postman, setting up the environment, learning about various parts of Laravel that are related to API development. So you actually build REST APIs. You will be ready simply to work with other people in a team, whether it's front end or actually back end, whether it's front end, mobile, or actually web. And you will simply improve your thinking overall, and you will be a better back end developer. All right, so there we made it. If you actually watched this till this minute, I just want to thank you. And yeah, if you like the intro, you'll actually like you will actually like the content of this course. So yeah, if you basically like this, get it now, and I'll see you inside.